Hey, if you're thinking about making that move to Tucson, Arizona, then by the end of this video, you're going to have a real good idea of exactly where it is that you want to move to. That's assuming that you're like most people who contact Darci and myself, and you're looking for a newer home in a safe neighborhood with lots of amenities nearby, and especially a great school district. Because let's face it, even if you don't have school-aged kids, a great school district is great for property values and great for resale values. So if you're thinking about making that move to Tucson and want a sense of what it's like to live here and get a really good idea of the best part of town, the best side of town for you to live in, then make sure you stay tuned to the end of this video because we're getting after it right now. Hey everybody, it's Paul Dunn. I'm a local real estate agent with eXp Realty as well as a mortgage broker with NEXA Mortgage. So basically I've got you covered on both sides of the ball when you're thinking about making that move here to Tucson. And if you haven't yet subscribed, you might want to click that little button because I drop videos every single week about the Tucson lifestyle, the real estate in Tucson, and any big developments that we know about that are coming to Tucson soon. So again, click that little subscribe button, ding that little bell, and you'll be among the first to be notified every time we drop a new video. Now, Darci and I get calls every single day from folks just like you who are thinking about making that move to Tucson, and we absolutely love it. See, what we do is we help people find homes in the neighborhoods they really, really love, and we absolutely really dig what we're doing. If you're thinking about making that move to Tucson, go ahead and pick up the phone, give us a call, shoot us a text message, DM, email, whatever. Even click that link below, and you can schedule a Zoom call with us one-on-one so that we can help you, because Darci and I've got your back when you're thinking about making that move to Tucson. So first up, Catalina Foothills. And the reason I want to start with Catalina Foothills is because the majority of the folks that call us, that's the first place they ask us about, right? Now, if you're checking it out on the map, the Catalina Foothills is going to be located just north of downtown Tucson, just a few miles, right? It's also at the base of the Santa Catalina Mountains. And if you're looking at niche.com actually rates the Catalina Foothills area as the #1 suburb in all of Tucson. And not only are they showing up as the #1 suburb here in Tucson, but it's also one of the most affluent areas of all of Arizona. And Catalina Foothills does feature some of Arizona's most expensive luxury homes as well. And I think the reason there's a lot of demand for the Catalina Foothills is because not only they've got fantastic mountain views, you can find some really great city views as well, but even more important is the fantastic school district. And Catalina Foothills, also known affectionately as Cat Foot, is kind of becoming known as the high end of Tucson. And they're really known for their legendary art galleries, the amazing golf, some fantastic restaurants, and some really cool boutique shopping as well. And Catalina Foothills is also the home to Tucson's premier shopping center known as La Encantada, which is located right at the corner of Skyline and Campbell. And there you're going to find AJ's Fine Foods, you're going to find Sundance, you're going to find Lululemon, as well as some really cool small boutiques. And some of my favorite restaurants are in La Encantada as well. You've got Raw Sushi, you've got North Italian, you've got Blanco's Taco and Tequila, and you've got the Firebird Grill as well. All fine restaurants. Okay, so the way that Catalina Foothills is set up, you probably won't even have to leave the area to do most of what you want to do. I mean, if you want to go get a haircut, get a cup of joe, go to a movie, you're probably just about 10 minutes away from going any place that you want to be, which includes some of Tucson's premier spas, such as Lowe's Ventana Canyon, the Westin La Paloma, and the famous Hacienda del Sol. And now if that's not enough for you, Catalina Foothills has some of the best hiking around because you are right there, right next to Sabino Canyon. And you continue up the road and you get all the way up there to the top of Mount Lemmon, where there actually is the southernmost ski resort in the Northern Hemisphere. They might only have 4 runs, but still, it's a ski resort. And Catalina Foothills boasts some of the best schools all around. So you're gonna have some of the best teachers, the best programs, as well as the best sports programs and coaches. So as far as home prices go, you might find a couple in the 400s, but they're gonna need some work. The average home price, or where most of the homes sit right now, is the 600 to 900,000 range. They do have some over $2.5 million, and right now there is actually a listing at $12.5 million in the Catalina Foothills. And now the median home price in the Catalina Foothills is $600,000. So who lives in the Catalina Foothills? Well, #1, lots of families, because I mentioned earlier that they have some great schools. So you're going to find lots of families, lots of kids, but you're also going to find a lot of retirees and snowbirds as well. Now, if you look at the population charts, you're going to see that Catalina Foothills boasts a much larger population of people over the age of 45 than the majority of Tucson. So do me a favor real quick. Everybody seems to have the one thing that they really like about a certain community. So tell me in the comments below, what is your favorite part about the Catalina Foothills? If you were going to move to Arizona and pick Catalina Foothills, what would make you want to move there? Okay, so let's head on over to the second most popular area that people ask us about when they are thinking about moving to Tucson, and that's Oro Valley. It's really just northwest of where we just were, which is Catalina Foothills, right? Now, if you're looking at the map, you're going to see that Oro Valley is located about 8 miles north of downtown, and it's located right at the base of the western side of the Santa Catalina Mountains. Now, the easiest way to get to Oro Valley from downtown Tucson is just heading right on up Highway 77, which is also known as Oracle Road. So you're gonna have, it's not a free shot, you're gonna have lots of stoplights, and you're also gonna have lots of potholes. Now, if you're looking at niche.com, niche.com actually rates Oro Valley is the #2 best suburb to live in Tucson, right behind Catalina Foothills. So why do people choose Oro Valley? Well, they love the gated communities, they love the mountain views, a lot of them love the proximity to golf, but one of the biggest things, again, is going to be quality schools. They love the quality of the schools. And another thing that brings people to Oro Valley is the proximity to great medical facilities. And really one of the things that a lot of people tell me about is in living in Oro Valley, they really have a strong sense of community and they have a strong sense of a safe community. Now, 18 years ago when Darci and I decided to trade in the rain of Seattle for the sunshine of Tucson, and by the way, we love the sunshine of Tucson, we never looked back and we picked Oro Valley as our destination. Now, why did we pick Oro Valley? Well, because we had 2 young children, two young boys, and we were wanting an area that had great schools. Oro Valley has great schools. We wanted an area with some really good youth sports program, and we also wanted an area with low crime, and we found all of that in Oro Valley. So our boys actually ended up going from elementary school all the way through high school in Oro Valley, and they absolutely loved it. They played high school baseball, and the sports programs at the schools are absolutely fantastic and highly competitive. So if Oro Valley is on your list, Darci and I can attest to the quality of the schools, the quality of the sports programs, and how safe we felt when we were living there. And I think people really love Oro Valley because of those dramatic mountain views, the quality of life, and the closeness you are to several of the amenities. So let's say you're cruising down 77 from Oro Valley down to downtown Tucson. Along the way, you're going to find lots of really cool shopping centers, some local boutiques, some really amazing restaurants. One of my favorites is Mr. On's, and you're going to find a few grocery stores, including Whole Foods. And believe it or not, we get calls from people who say, I want to be close to a Whole Foods. Can you find me a house there? And the answer is, of course we can. And that's really how Oro Valley was designed, to give you a sense of community so that you really didn't have to go anywhere. You're going to get some of the best shopping, some of the best restaurants, lots of grocery stores, and really a lot of fun stuff to do as well. Now, speaking of fun stuff, if you're into hiking or mountain biking, then you're right at the base of the western side of the Santa Catalina Mountains, and you've got access to some of the best trails in those mountains right here from Oro Valley. And now, if golf's your thing, you've got access to some of the best golf courses in all of southern Arizona. And if you end up buying a home in the Oro Valley Country Club, you might not only get some great golf views, but also some fantastic mountain views as well. And if you're looking for a staycation at any point in time, you've got the Westward Look Wyndham Resort right there, as well as the Omni Tucson, both great places. Now, as for home prices, I know you're asking, what are the home prices in Oro Valley like, Paul? Well, entry level, and we're talking entry level, maybe in the mid to high threes. Now, most of the homes are going to be priced in the 400s to the 900s, and the median home price right now in Oro Valley is in the mid 4s. Now, who lives in Oro Valley? Again, lots of families, and I think that's because of the schools and the great sports programs as well. You're also going to find lots of retirees and lots of snowbirds, people coming down here when it's cold out where they live right there. Now, if we look at the charts, you're going to see that Oro Valley has a little bit higher population of those over 45 than the rest of Tucson. So now that we've gone through Oro Valley and Catalina Foothills, I've got to ask you, and in the comments below, help me out. Would you prefer Oro Valley or would you prefer Catalina Foothills if you were going to move here to Arizona? Okay, next on the list is going to be Miranda, right? So if you're looking at the map, one of the things you're going to notice is that Miranda is directly west from Oro Valley, and it's northwest of downtown Tucson by about 10 miles. And the other thing that you're going to notice is that I-10, the freeway, basically splits Miranda in half into an east and west side. And one more thing you're going to notice is it's enormous. Miranda is 122 square miles. Now, over the last couple of years, Miranda's been the fastest growing and most in-demand part of Tucson. And I think a lot of that is because it's so big, there's a lot of land, and there's a lot of new subdivisions going in. And with all that, you get a great variety of home prices as well as a great variety of home styles. So if there's something specific you're looking for, chances are you're probably going to be able to find it here in Miranda. Now, when Darci and I left Seattle and moved here to sunny Tucson, we ended up in Oro Valley, and we loved Oro Valley. We still do love Oro Valley. And we raised our kids there. We kept our kids in the school system there. And that's one of the things that I wanted to point out real quick, is that 8 years ago, we did move here to Miranda, and we absolutely love it. One of the things that made that possible for us was because of the open enrollment in the school systems down here. So we were able to keep the kids in the Oro Valley schools where they got that fantastic education, and they got to continue to play the sports, baseball, with all their friends that they grew up with through Little League. Now, I'm not saying that the Miranda School District isn't as good as the Oro Valley School District. Research it. They do have some fantastic schools here in Miranda as well. Well, what do Darci and I actually like about living in Miranda? I got to tell you what, we love the proximity to I-10. So when we lived in Oro Valley, we didn't want to drive down Oracle, that bumpy pothole full road with all the stoplights to go downtown, so we rarely went downtown. So when we moved here to Miranda, it only takes about 7-8 minutes to get to I-10. And so now it's a breeze to go downtown and explore the area, check out the nightlife, and eat at some of those fantastic restaurants and microbreweries. There are some fantastic microbreweries down in Tucson. Now here's something really cool. Niche.com actually came out and ranked Miranda as the number 3 subdivision in all of Arizona in which to buy a home. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that Miranda is growing so rapidly, and it's very, very business friendly. In fact, if you were to drive down I-10 through Miranda, one of the things that you would notice is all of the commercial building going in. Amazon's coming in. We've got furniture distributions coming in. We've got more car washes. Man, we're getting car washes popping up left and right. But it's very business friendly. We're seeing a lot of new businesses moving in here to Miranda. And it really wasn't long ago that Miranda was really just a lot of farmland, right? With a few startup subdivisions. And if you were here back then, you'd really be back in the middle of nowhere. Fast forward to today, and not only is Miranda the fastest growing part of Tucson, but it is one of the fastest growing parts of all of Arizona. So if we go back and look at the map and see that I-10 basically splits Miranda in half, you got the west side, the east side. If we're on the west side, most of that shopping is going to be along Twin Peaks or Silver Bell, or it is going to be along Portero down to the south. And on that side, you're going to get lots of shopping. You're going to get some boutique stores, a good variety of restaurants, as well as some old steakhouses, and even a brew pub or two. Now let's head on over to the east side of Miranda. Basically, you've got one grocery store, and that's a Mega Fry's on Tangerine. So that east side of Miranda actually has 2 strip malls. One of them does have that Fry's Superstore, and the other has a couple really nice restaurants in it. In fact, it's not unusual that maybe on a Friday or Saturday evening that you might find Darci and I sitting down there at Dove Mountain Brewing having a nice cold, tall, frosty cocktail in the evening. If you see us down there, come say hi, come tell us that you saw us on YouTube, and I'll buy you a beer. So people tend to like Miranda because they like the location. They like that it's close to I-10, which makes it easy to go up to Phoenix if you need to go hit the airport or go to a Suns game or a Diamondbacks game. And it also makes it really simple to go downtown to downtown Tucson to check out some of the cool restaurants down there. And people also like that it's got a really good sense of community. And in fact, if you end up going over to the west side, even more west over the mountain over there, you're going to be in some pretty rural areas as well. And so people also like the variety of home styles. Man, you can find anything you want out here, from a single wide on acreage to a McMansion that's got great, fantastic, beautiful views. Now, they always say that the most important part of real estate is location, right? So location is another thing that people really love about Miranda because of its easy access to I-10, because it's got a lot of great golf right here in Miranda. You've got also a lot of fantastic hiking. If you were into outdoor sports, maybe you have a Can-Am or something, you want to run around in the desert, you've got a lot of trails that you can go do that with. But the number one thing people like about Miranda, it's family friendly. Now, Miranda does have a lot of subdivisions. There's quite a few newer ones coming in. There's quite a few older ones that are here too. But one thing they have in common is they do a great job of holding activities, maybe having a little bit of sports leagues, and getting people outside so that you get to know your neighbor. Okay, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Paul, I love Miranda. I'm ready to go right now. What's the home cost out there? So I'm gonna give you that info right now. So medium home price right now, Miranda, is gonna be in the low 400s. Now, depending on your budget, chances are you are going to be able to find something that will meet your needs, budgetary needs that is. It just depends on how far west that you wanna go away from I-10 and away from Tucson. That's where you're gonna find your lower home prices, right? Now, you might be able to find an entry-level home in the upper 200s, but realistically, you're probably gonna be in the mid to low 300s for that entry-level home. Most of the homes in Miranda are going to be in the mid 4s, but maybe just touching on the 7s. And you're also going to find there's quite a few in the range from $1.5 to $2.5 million as well. What's the highest listing in Miranda, you ask? Right now, $7.5 million. So the next question I know you're going to ask is, well, who lives in Miranda? Well, you're going to get a lot of families just because the place is so family friendly, but you're also going to get a lot of sunbirds. You're going to get a lot of retirees as well. Now, if we look at the chart, you're going to see as well that the average age in Miranda is going to be less than what we saw in Oro Valley, less than what we saw in Catalina Foothills, and it's going to be closer to what you're going to see throughout the majority of Tucson. Okay, last questions for you guys, and I'm really curious. If you had to pick between Catalina Foothills, Oro Valley, or Miranda, which one would you pick, and why would you pick that? Would it be the Catalina Foothills because you want those magnificent city and mountain views? Maybe Oro Valley because you want the view from the other side of the mountain. Maybe you want to save a little bit, a few bucks and get into some of those good youth sports programs and close to the medical facilities? Or would it be a Miranda because you're going to get more bang for your buck? You've got a lot more growth opportunities out there, a lot more appreciation opportunities out in the Miranda area. What are you looking for? Which do you prefer? So Darci and I get calls every single day from folks just like you who are thinking about making that move to Tucson and are in the research stage, right? And we really dig it, man. So if you're thinking about making that move to Tucson, want to know more about Tucson in the area, go ahead and give us a call, shoot us a text message, send us an email, or use that link down below and set up a Zoom meeting. We'd love to share our information with you because we got your back when making that move to Tucson.